You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the January 13th meeting for the LaPorte County Drainage Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, we'll call to order the January 13th, 2026 reorganizational meeting for the LaPorte County Drainage Board. So I will open the meeting and ask for a nomination for president.
I nominate Jeff Mitzner.
Microphone.
Second.
I nominate Jeff Mitzner.
You repeat.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 With that, I'll turn the meeting over to the president.
Okay, I'll take nominations for vice president.
I nominate Mark Scarborough.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Secretary.
I nominate John South.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Joint boards, we can just leave that the same slate. If can I have a motion for that?
Motion that we leave the joint boards as the same as before.
Second.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll stand and have the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And I guess I forgot one. We need to put our attorney in.
I make a motion to bring Brad on board.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Roll call. That was all.
Mark Scarborough, Chad Herches,
Here.
Connie Grammarosa, Jeff Mitzner,
Present.
Pat Vance,
Present.
John Matwischen.
Present.
Can I have approval of minutes from last month's meeting?
I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. We're going to go ahead and table this White Ditch project. So we'll go to Sinkhole and Ridge Run Emergency Project, Tarnal property.
Yeah, I got a call from Elmer Varro that there was a sinkhole out on the Ridge Run near where Elmer had done a project last year for us to repair the tile. And thanks to Chad for sending these pictures. That needs to get taken care of as soon as possible.
Yeah, there's a manhole, right? The manhole cover's right here.
How close is it to the manhole?
8 feet, 10 feet?
Did you see any more besides that one getting started?
No.
How deep is that one?
It's probably, what, 1.5 2 foot? It's going in, so.
Well, I mean, how deep's the tile there, do you know?
No, I do not, but I've heard rumors of 20 feet, so.
So we can do this as an emergency.
Yeah, it's being brought to the board as an emergency.
Okay, so can we, can I have a motion to have, I guess Elmer, go ahead and do that project?
Okay.
And I make a motion for Vero Services to go in there and fix the Tarno drain.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Number 3, Schwartz Ditch, Louis Spear complaint. Is this Walmart?
Yeah.
Good morning.
Morning.
Is this on?
Yes.
Okay. What I've got is
Can you say your name and address, please?
Louis Spear, 6434 South, 3rd Line Road, LaPorte, Indiana. This is on the Schurz Ditch on the east side of town that runs from Highway 2 to Highway 4, 10,200 feet. We have a situation out there that the whole ditch is in essence collapsed because of the excess water that's put on us. I brought in an aerial maps, aerial maps from 1939 all the way through 54, 58, 65, 73, and beyond into the 80s. And John, he looked at them, and it shows all of that land up until the 80s was all farmed. We lost close to 60 acres on the Spear Farm to wetlands or farmed wetland status. And what I'm asking is, does this board have the jurisdiction over this drain?
We're just getting the official lay of the land.
Okay.
Where do you lay at in the back there? I know where it's at, and we're getting him close to what Jeff has to use Walmart as his jumping off point on the map, so we know where we're at. So we're just topographic.
Just go out there and follow the water that's being discharged from Walmart, and you'll see the Schurz ditch. It's flooded.
That's where.
And just for the board's information, Mr. Spears brought this to the board before, probably multiple times before. I may be the only carryover from the last time. Obviously, Tony's not here anymore, Christine's not here, and it's a whole new board. So we appreciate a little patience as this board gets caught up to speed. But is this similar information to what you had provided?
It's similar, but but it's just gotten worse.
Yeah.
This goes back, we're talking nearly 70 years. And what I'm asking is that, for the next meeting, that this board, if it has jurisdiction over this drain, that they order the city to attend this meeting next month, and I'll have a presentation, and I'll show every one of my maps, aerial pictures that, going all the way back, and all the documentation that proves that it is farmland, and that the city's encroaching has created this situation where we've lost farmland.
Who from the city would you ask to attend?
Hopefully, somebody that can answer, some questions.
Yeah, I know before when you were in the MS4 conglomerate was still in existence. That's kind of changed over the years as far as the joint relationship between the county, the city of LaPorte, and it was Trail Creek and Long Beach, I think, were involved in that too. That's how I know the city was still connected when you brought this back in, because again, that was our board liaison was also, there was connection with the MS4 that we don't have anymore, but that doesn't mean we can't communicate directly with the city of LaPorte via the board here.
Well, if the Drainage Board has jurisdiction over the Schurz ditch, then the Drainage Board needs to hire the attorney, not the attorneys, but the engineers to design and reconstruct that ditch.
And that's what you're proposing you'd like to show at the next meeting, if we can also get somebody from the city here.
And why?
This is when I was first on, so I do know a little bit about this. I believe that back then we had a proposal of $300,000 to fix this ditch, I believe. So that's going to become an issue. So there is money in this account, correct?
Some, yeah.
Some. That's what I was afraid of.
Not 300.
Okay, but under the same circumstances, the land that was assessed as benefited has been lost. Walmart has never been assessed as benefited to drain into the Schurz ditch.
Okay, can you come up here for a second? Because
Sure.
I want to make sure this map is right. So here's the ditch that we're talking about, and here's the area we're talking about. So does this ditch start right here, or where's this ditch go to here?
I can't. I should have brought my big map. Yeah.
So in the purple,
So LaPorte city
purple
limits.
right here, that's where we got started at. So does that ditch not go up this way? It starts right there.
Stops at Highway 2.
Here, and it starts right here.
So it goes up that way. So it goes up here. Okay. All right, thank you.
That's
So that ditch goes up this line and it starts right here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought it went farther than that.
I can contribute a little bit to the discussion here. I'm with Mr. Spear in my office, and afterwards went to meet with Michael Pollan in the building department, who is familiar with the situation in this area. Mentioned that there is regulated drains there, there is mutual drain there, and there is drains that were just put in by private individuals. So in Michael Pollan's assessment that this is going to take, this is a complicated issue that will take a while to resolve. The person from the city to get involved is the engineer who recently resigned. I don't know if that position's been filled yet, but at the time I spoke with Michael Pollan, he was aware that the city engineer is the proper person, and that's current. At that time, it was a vacant position.
Okay. So I guess proceeding on, John, you probably need to get a hold of somebody from the city, because it's going to, well, where's the city limits at on that? Is it right there by Walmart? Do we know that?
no,
It
it's
goes a little beyond, yeah.
It goes a little beyond that?
it's beyond that. But the city limits have the Indiana drainage laws. The city answers to the drainage board. It is a legal drain.
What I would recommend, since the surveyor's already been in touch with Mr. Spear, maybe have him get in touch with the city. And if he needs my assistance with anybody there, we start coordinating efforts with them to get them here for the February meeting so we can.
What I'm asking this board today is to make a motion that the city be directed to this next meeting to get this started.
I don't think we need that in a motion, do we?
You can make the motion, that way you know it's coming from board approval to the surveyor and the attorney to have the city engineer attend the next meeting.
When do you guys want to make that motion?
For the simple fact, they've done nothing for 70 years other than destroy this drain.
I just got a question for you. You also want to do your presentation at that next meeting too, right? To be on the agenda.
Yes.
So I would make a motion that, so it's in the record that at the next meeting, we have this gentleman here so he can have his presentation, and we also reach out to the city so they can have representation at that meeting, so we can try to resolve this between the drainage board and the city.
And the surveyor's going to be the one to reach out to him.
And the surveyor's going to be directed to reach out to the city.
All right, I'll copy the whole board here with communication to the city.
Second.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Galena Meadows Basin issues, Jim Butson? Butson? Is that right? Go ahead and come forward.
Hi, good morning. This is Jim Budson, 100-0096 North Halstead Drive. With the recent heavy rains, there's a couple ponds in the subdivision that started overflowing. John and we're out, I forgot your name, to take a look at it, but I don't know, the 25 years since the subdivision's been there, I don't know if they, the culverts to handle the overflow from the ponds have ever been cleaned out, and so it's obvious that they're just overgrown, overfilled, and they're causing water to back up through my yard and ultimately onto the street.
Yeah, Pat and I were out there and we looked at the pond in question, and I think it just needs to be mowed. There's 3 sections there that are pretty overgrown.
Where did you find the outlets or the inlets where's that water go to out of the pond?
It looks like it goes to a private pond to the west. And there's a conveyance there that was pretty overgrown. It was obviously
Yeah, there's
intended.
2 good-sized trees in the middle of that. Well, it's a channel. It's got some rocks in it. You can tell it was a feature, and it's supposed to be like a balance between the 2 ponds. And it's got 2 good-sized trees right in the middle of it, and it's just kind of choked with weeds. And from what I understand, we don't have a ton of money in that fund, but if we could look at taking those trees out and maybe trying to cut down some of that vegetation to deal with that it might take water to the other pond like it's supposed to.
So do we know if is there sediment in the outlets and the inlets? Do we know that? Do we know where those are at?
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't know.
We got any plans?
Yes, we do. I'll have to go dig deeper into those, but it's pretty high right now, so we wouldn't be able to get to them anyway until if we can get that water drained a little bit.
So do we want to put this out for bid? Do we want to wait and see if we can find the inlets and outlets?
Well, I think it needs to be mowed, just to
Can't
get
mow it
some.
when there's 2 foot of water in it.
No, not where the overgrowth is. The pond is high, but not where the mowing is needed to be done. It can be done. Right? That's what you saw too? Yeah. There's one next to Jim's house, and then there's one near where it needs to go, drop down to that neighboring pond. Because there's a definite difference in height. You can see it when you're out there between the private pond and the pond in Galena Meadows.
Be about 10 feet or so, but it's just not flowing.
I think, yeah.
Pond on the west, it's and again, I think it's maybe more than.
So is it cut out so it's supposed to run across, or is it supposed to run through it?
Well, there's riprap in there that was where it was the water, and the water was moving a little bit. Right, it was trickling through there. But I think if we get all those, the growth cut down, I think it'll flow a lot better through there, and I think that should drop that level a little bit.
I'm waiting on your motion. What do you want to do?
Well, do we want to make a motion to put that out to bid, John? Is that what we talked about?
Yep.
I would make a motion that we put that out to bid we're going to say the mowing to try and clean up that drain between the 2 lakes.
And then there's the 2 trees that's somewhere. Are they in the pond, or the trees?
No, they're in that little conveyance area where the riprap.
This right here,
Yes, they're in the little.
in here.
Yes.
So does your motion include removing those, or?
Which picture is it?
I would make a motion that we put that out to bid to remove the 2 trees and mow down the area
It's in there. You can see one of the trees on the
in the water conveyance between the 2 ponds.
Can I add your motion? Can I add his motion?
Actually, I just made it. Yeah. What you
If there's a second, you can have discussion. And
Second.
I second that.
All right, I want to have a little discussion. Let's try to dig up these plans and have the surveyor go out and check to see where the drains are at, to make sure that the drains are open. You should be able to tell where they're at if they're running or not running. So I'd like to add that to his motion. And then have a report back next meeting on that, so that we know when we're bidding this, what we're doing, when we open the bids.
Do we need a second
That
addition?
it doesn't necessarily need to be added to the motion. It's just clarification, so it's in the record. So before you accept the bids, you know what you're looking at. So,
Okay. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay,
Thank you. Bank spraying 2026.
Okay. I may as well do this all at once. I'll just read through all the different projects we've got lined up from the time we spent in the field with Pat, Mark, Jeff, and Chad. And I think the easiest way, I'll just go through the list that I'd handed out before, showing the 9, and I'll just read down in each ditch which project we came up with.
So before you do that, John, do we have a definite on the bank spraying what we're doing, or are you putting that in
Yes.
each bid?
Yeah, there's definite bank spraying. There's 14 projects total
Okay.
that we came up with. 5 of those are bank spraying.
Okay.
4 are tree removals, 4 are mowing, and 1 is brushing. So that's the 14. Do you want me to just do the bank spraying ones together and then do it that way, or just read through?
Just do the bank spraying ones together, then do the mowing ones together, then do it in separate.
Okay.
What you got?
All right. 3 of the bank sprayings are on the O'Hara Rice ditch, which Jeff and Mark and myself went and looked at. Do you want me to just go through the distance and everything, or just?
Well, I think you just tell us where they're at.
Okay.
Because we pretty much said where we wanted to do stuff at, because everybody was out there.
Yeah.
Because you guys are, I want to thank you guys for taking your time to go out there with them. So you guys know in your area what you're doing. We know in our area what we're doing. And then we can go from there.
Okay. The first one is just south of 1200 South, near the railroad, and it's going to go to the south for approximately half a mile. It's going to end at about 1350 South. That's the first bank spraying. The other one is north of 1100 South, and it runs for a quarter of a mile to the north. And that's spraying just the east side of that particular spot. And then the final bank spraying in O'Hara runs from Hunsley Road to the east about a half a mile, and that's going to be sprayed on both sides. Chad and myself were out at Behringer. This is a bank spraying that's as a result of a maintenance project that Al Alsop did last year, and it's starting to have a lot of growth with the sumac, and that needs to be sprayed. They're already 5 or 6 feet tall, and that basically runs from the railroad to 200 South. And the other bank spraying this is also me and Chad looked at, was the Davy arm of the Rodman, and this is the Elmer's project that he did last year, where he dug out and took out all the trees in that one section in Stillwell, and that just needs to be sprayed on both sides. Okay, that's it for the bank spraying. There's 4 tree removals. This is also the Rodman that Chad and myself were at, and this is a pretty remote area in the Kingsbury KOP area, and this goes from basically the park road there. I can't remember the name of the road there in the park. 500 South maybe.
Or they call it Hupp Road.
Hupp Road, and that goes all the way to the tracks, the railroad tracks to the north. Quite a few large trees in there that are down. Looks like nothing's been done in there for a long time. Chad and myself are also at the Little Kankakee, and there's a couple of spots on the Kankakee. Pretty significant amount of trees blocking the Kankakee.
That was between 700 East and 5.
Yeah, just south of Fish Lake.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want the exact location?
I can never remember the roads over there. I think it's 700, and I think that's not.
Yeah, it's 800 east, and then going to the west for basically a mile and a quarter. There's 2 different spots in there where there's significant trees down. Let's see, the O'Hara Rice, when Jeff and Mark and myself were out there. I apologize for trying to get through these, taking so long. Okay, the spot that needed trees removed on the O'Hara was from 1200 South, heading to the southeast to the railroad, or 375 west. In that section, there was quite a few trees. A lot of trees on the bank too that need to be removed. I think we decided that we would just remove every tree in that section. Is that correct?
That's
Jeff?
that short section, right? That angle piece? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. The moon ditch, Pat and myself were out there. The moon ditch has a lot of areas that probably need work, but we just don't have a lot of money. So we decided that the part that probably needed it the most is right before it inlets into the bull ditch.
Yeah, it's from 300, right?
Yep, 300 west.
300 over to the bull.
It's roughly a quarter of a mile stretch, and there's debris. There's some empty
Barrels.
Yeah, empty barrels. There's some trees, a bunch of trees down. So we think that section probably needs to be cleaned up first, and then the future stuff can be, once we get some more money in that account, we can deal with those. The other tree removal was, I'd contacted Connie. She was going to get a hold of the highway department to have them take care of it. But I haven't heard back from Connie to see if she's gotten a hold of them. I'm hoping that they do that so we don't have to put that out for bid. Because it's right next to the road. It'd be an easy one for the county, the highway to take care of. But it needs to be removed because it's blocking that ditch pretty significantly.
I'll talk to Connie, and if nothing else, I'll talk to Aaron Rust and see if I think that's his jurisdiction. I'll see if we can get that done. You talk about that one there on, what is it, 12? No,
Yeah, if I can
1,000?
find- Yeah, I was gonna.
1,000.
Yeah, I think that's where it was.
I know where it's at. I'll talk.
Yeah, we'd had a violation in that same area before. Okay. Is that it for the tree removals? Okay. Chad and I were also out in the KOP, and there was a brushing section that it could only on the west side, correct? That stretch that we were going to brush was on the west side. There's real easy access on the east,
Yeah.
so it shouldn't be a problem. I don't remember. It's one of those access roads in the park. I don't know if it even has a name, but you go off Hupp Road and go north, and it's 1,000 feet maybe that needs to be brushed, right? Something like that, quarter of a mile maybe.
Yeah, through there. That's where the three ditches, the other two, the
Ridge Run.
and the
Yep.
rotten dump into that
Yep.
ditch on the back side.
Yep.
And all three of them really were on that. The water wasn't even flowing through that.
Yeah. Okay. This first one, the mowing, is in the McKellips, and this is going to be done a little bit differently. We only have $8,500 to spend for this mowing, and I decided that we would bid this out per foot, and whoever could go the farthest on $8,500 would get the bid for that mowing. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yes. One side.
One side. Okay. Okay, we had two mowings in the O'Hara Rice as well. Jeff and Mark and myself were out there. The first one is pretty lengthy. It's 4,300 feet from 1,100 south down to almost 1,200 south. Mow just the east side on that particular stretch. And the other mowing was from 900 south for about a quarter of a mile to the north, and that's mow both sides on that one. One more mowing, that was Scipio Sunrise.
Wait. Wasn't there another mowing on that O'Hara Rice where that fence was?
Did I do the two? Oh, the one from, that's this one, I think, the 900 south, right? To the north, that's the one I just said. Where they have a fence right
Fence,
next to the
yes.
ditch on the
Yes.
west?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. Yes. We were going to go further than a quarter mile there, though, weren't we?
We're gonna go that way.
Oh, that's right. Because that ditch turns, and I thought it went the other way. You're right.
And the last one was Scipio Sunrise. Jeff and Mark and myself were out there, and we decided the other basins look pretty good. So we decided the one basin that still has a lot of growth in it was Basin 3, and we'd have a bid to mow that. A lot of cattails in there. Just need it to be dry, make sure there isn't any water in there. The pump hasn't been turned on in a long time, so, hopefully there won't be a lot of water in there and get in there and get the rest of that finished.
When you bid those, let's bid all 3 of those. Is there 3 there or 4? 4?
For the mowing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's bid all 4 of those separately
Okay.
to see if we can stay ahead on those other ones to try to get some of that bigger brush chopped up a little bit. And then I think we can, then I want to look into doing a maintenance thing out there so that somebody comes in and mows them once a year, every year, so that we can keep them down.
Okay.
But there's some bigger trees out there, brush, that when they mowed them off the last time, they didn't get chopped up very good. So if we can get them to mow that again with the brush cutter, maybe we get that stuff cut up a little bit. And
Okay.
So we'll see how much money we got when we do that bidding.
So that was it. That was that lengthy bit was all the 14 potential projects.
Okay, so the only issue we have with any of those projects is the one on 900 South where the fence is, correct? So we're gonna need to send them a letter. The fence is on our easement. So we're gonna need to you're gonna have to send a letter to them, Brad or John, somebody, and tell them that they're gonna have to remove their fence if we proceed with this project.
It's a notice of encroachment.
Yes.
If you want to give me the information, John, I can do it for you.
Okay, so do we have a motion to proceed with these, to get bids on these upcoming projects?
I'll make a motion that we put these projects out to bid, the projects as stated by Mr. South that we just talked about now.
And have the bids in before the next meeting so we get some of this done before the, so do I have a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Drain crossing application, multiple ditches, Zale.
There's one before that. Could we do that one?
Oh, yeah, drain crossing application, O'Hara Rice ditch, surf internet.
Yeah, this is a pretty simple one. They're just doing their fiber optic line under the ditch. They've already said they're going to be at least 48 inches below the natural bottom of the ditch. So I don't see any reason to send it to Tony. I think it's okay.
Have a motion.
Motion to approve that drain crossing.
Second.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Now we'll do the multiple ditches at Zale.
Well, I wish I had some news on this. I talked to the guy the other day, and he promised he was going to get them to me that same day, but I still haven't received them.
Is this the one that's on the Eckert ditch and that down there by me?
He says he's close to getting them to me, so I'm hoping he...
So can we, they never got a permit from us in the first place, and we don't have any idea how deep they are or anything. Is there some way, Brad, we can push them to get us some information on this, or how can we do that?
You're wanting to see how deep they're,
Well, I mean, they crossed the Mockler twice, they crossed the Eckert at least twice, if not 3 times, at least, down there by me, and that's all stuff that we don't know where anything's at, we don't know how deep they went.
I think they crossed 11 different spots.
I just know where know for sure they did, but
I mean, you can request that information from them prior to approving any pending applications.
Well,
the problem is they're done and they're out of here now, so they're not even here. They did it without any. I mean, if it wasn't for me saying something to him, we would never even known about it.
Yeah. But I told him, when I talked to him, I told him we needed at least 48 inches. So I don't know. I'm hoping that information of how deep they went is going to be on the applications, because I brought it up with him. So maybe, we wait and see what he submits and see if he's got the information on those.
Yeah, I wouldn't tell him how deep he has to be, because I guarantee you they're all going to be at 48 inches.
Amazing, though.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess just stay in contact with that guy and try to get something for us for next meeting.
Yeah. All right.
Webster Ditch, George Ladani, tree removal.
Yeah, my name is George Ladon, 9511 South 100 West, Union Mills. I'm I'm here today to see if we can get any resolution towards what's occurring at 6633 and 6655 West US Highway 6. John has been out to the area after I brought that to his attention with regard to my mother's property, who I'm speaking on behalf of, continues to become more and more inundated with water. Now, she is part of the watershed and has been paying on that watershed for 50 years plus, and perhaps 4 years ago, it was, you guys put it out for bid and they dug it out, and really it hasn't gotten any better. It's really gotten worse. And the reason is you guys, there's a watershed to the north of us, and we are the last part of that watershed. And
You're north of 6, right?
yeah, we are north of 6, and so everybody north of us has been dumping, and their ditch has been maintained, and ours now is maintained. However, just south of 6, that's Nancy Malone's property. She was approached in 2022 about becoming part of this watershed, along with other neighbors, and they were not interested in becoming part of it. That was presented when Christine was here. So my question is, where do we go from here? Because you can see a minimum 1 foot drop of water from the amount of trees in Nancy Malone's property within 100 feet of Highway 6. You can see it from the road. I walked over there. You can hear the water rushing because it's dropping over these trees. The ditch has become more and more narrow. Maybe 55 years ago, the entire thing was done, and it hasn't been done since. And so, you know, in reality, we don't have a watershed. We have water collecting on this property because it cannot pass. And I don't know what else we can do in order to have that taken care of. The acres continue to go down that are farmable, and it's evident, and I can bring in aerial maps, I imagine. I just heard that gentleman talk about it, how we've gone down in farmable area due to the neglect of the ditch south of 6. So I don't know what else that we can do, because we just keep accepting water from the north of us, and it cannot pass.
Okay, I've been out there. I was familiar with this in 22, or whenever it was when we were out there, and I actually walked the property to the south. Because the assessment stops at 6, there is no money to go any further south. So I guess I'm going to propose that you need to talk to them to see if they want to dig the ditch. And I don't know if I'm going to step out of bounds here, but if you guys decide you want to dig the ditch, we can give you permission. If you're going to pay the bill, we can give you permission to go on our easement and dig through there. So, I mean, I'd rather see it that the landowner works with you so that we don't have to tell them that you're going to go through. But there is no money when you go south of 6 that's in the fund, because that's where it stops at.
Okay.
So about the only thing you do is have somebody go in there, and they're more than welcome to use our easement, but there is no money for us to pay towards that.
And in doing that, just the best practices are done. The trees are left there on the side. You're not hauling that stuff away.
That's up to your contractor,
Right.
or her contractor that she hires or you hire to do that job. We can give you permission to use our easement, but we cannot give you any money. If that
Okay.
makes sense.
Have you sent a letter to her regarding taking care of this? You had mentioned that you were going to send a letter. Did that occur?
I haven't yet. I was going to wait until see what the board had to say.
Okay.
But if they
And-
want me
and
to-
perhaps in that letter, if I can get a copy of it, you're going to reference that if this is not, taken care of, as we can see this is an issue, we are going to issue Marie Ladon, my mother, permission to bid this out, to dig that out, and then, in fact, we will determine whether we will then go after her for that money, because it's a takings. It's a takings because the farmland has continued to become not farmable. So all of those avenues are going to be pursued through this.
Have you approached her about her digging through there? Have you approached her about this?
I had spoke to her. She had showed up to the other meetings back in 2022, and we had discussed, doing something and her becoming part of the watershed. And then I got an email from Christine saying she wasn't interested in that. And they're aware of trees in the ditch. They've cut them off so that they can mow next to it. I think that.
Well, I would suggest before we send a letter to her that you contact her and try to make arrangements with her before we have to do anything, because technically we can't send her a letter that's saying that we're going to do anything until they can go out there, right? We're just going to send her a letter that says we're giving them permission to be on the easement?
So that I can walk it. And
in the interest of disclosure, Mr. Ladon is a client. In fact, we have an appointment on Friday. I'm guessing about this issue. Whichever way you want to do it. Obviously, the board really can't take action until it's brought back to give him permission, maybe in February. But in the time between that, whether it's notification directly from you, notification then from John as well, basically what he's suggesting or proposing is, either she cleans it up or you're going to come back to the board to get permission to clean it up. And then
and that'll be a letter that we'll have you draft. And
so I have, and again, full disclosure, I've been representing multiple parties here. I would send a letter on your behalf, and then if the board directs, depending on the result of that letter, which I'm guessing, it's not going to result in immediate action, but hopefully some response, then you can get back to John. And if the board, or if the drainage board needs to send a letter as well, or we can even address that in our letter, but it won't be approved until this board takes action to give you permission to work on the easement.
Right. So we will look at this for the February meeting after the letter will be sent next week, and then that should be enough time.
Yeah, and then come back to us next month.
Yes.
And then we'll see what kind of actions. I'm sure she'll be here then next month, so that we can discuss this and try to figure out what the best resolution is to try to get this resolved.
Sure. Okay. All right. Very good. So then we'll show up and I'll see you Friday. All right. Thank you.
You got any questions on that?
Oh, Mike, did you want to say anything about? He's the one that's farming the land there.
Could you come to the mic, sir, and tell us who you are, please, and state your address, because nobody knows you.
I know it. Mike Coulter, Westville, Indiana. Anyway, I've farmed this Ladon farm for probably close to 40 years, 35. Yeah. And like George said, when that ditch was cleaned here recently, it actually became more of a problem because he started to collect water that we could disperse. So the fact that we cleaned it made the farming even wetter than it was prior to, because we gained water without the ability to lose any.
So,
but I farmed for her back probably at 79 for a stretch of years and had no idea what goes on back in that ditch over that. Probably quit farming in the 80s and never farmed for George's family till after that. But
so does that go south and go around the corner then go up to my father-in-law's? Is that where it goes?
I'm not really familiar south of 6 where it goes, but it's just stagnant water across the Ladon farm, that ditch. And when water rises, it just comes out in the field on both sides for relief and forms its own pockets of absorption, because that's about the only way we get rid of water is putting it up in the sky or out in our fields.
If you guys drive down there and look at that,
I mean,
you can see where the water's
very apprehensive to be neighborly and how that water flow's been for a long time. They've always loved more water was good in her opinion, and we just loan it to her at a little bit at a small.
Well, I know in 22 she was pretty wet back there behind her place, so I do know that.
Yeah, it's pretty wet land, and George's has continually got wetter. The FSA's now reduced our acreage because of some damp areas there that we've been prevented from farming for a stretch of time that were normally farmed. There's like 5 acres back there, and I think they took 4 off of our
Okay.
acreages.
All right, we'll put you back on the agenda for next month, and you guys try to handle it yourself first, and then along with Brad, and then bring it back to us next meeting.
Very good, thank you.
Monthly reports, Hudson Lake.
Georgette Joyce, 7299 East Hudson Point Lane, New Carlisle. The lake level has come up a little bit. We're 2.5 inches about below the weir, so we gained a little over 3 inches, but we're still very low, and that's not good. The drain continues to be closed. We did apply for all the layer grants for weed treatment as well as a new dredge plan, and so they usually review that in January, and we'll find out shortly after that whether we get any. And then the sediment removal is done finally, so we finished the site 4 and the spur that comes around. The dredger is now removing his equipment from the lake, so the last effort will be to smooth out the sediment sites, once they dry up. And then the last thing is we're still working to try to secure more grants, with Amazon and whoever else we can get, because we have a lot of projects to do, and that's it.
Okay, anybody got any questions? Thank you. Brad? No report. John?
Yes. I know about the Spear issue, the because he came and contacted me. Some of these others I haven't heard about until this morning. I'm willing to participate. Perhaps if John could send an email to the people that apply for drain crossings, that I would be appearing and describe what I would be doing, and then at the conclusion I could send an email to both of them that I concluded my tasks and move on. I just don't want to appear out of the woodwork, surprise the applicant that, here I'm, and they're wondering what I'm going to be doing there.
Well, so you are the county surveyor.
Correct.
So we have to approve them first. So
Right.
we approve them, and then they become yours.
Well, I'm willing to jump in there, but that would be the first time they would know that I'm participating.
But you are the county surveyor, and it says on the back of the paper that you will approve them once they're done. So that's where you jump in at.
Right. And
I guess I don't understand what
work
you're
out-
asking.
I'd like to have them, the applicant, understand that I would appear, because up to that point, John South is the only person that had contact, and maybe notify them that they need to notify me about when the specific time they'll be crossing.
That is good. So, correct me if I'm wrong, John. You have these in a file in your office.
I do.
And you need to go through those.
Okay.
After we approve them.
Okay.
You need to go through them, and then it's your job to contact.
I've hesitated going through there because I didn't want to mess with the filing system.
You go in his office, you
Okay.
find the files, you contact them and find out when they're going to do
All right.
it, and then you go out there and approve them, and then if there's an issue, then you got to bring it back to the board.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Did you have something to say? I was going to say, you don't want me to. You want you to have to get it sent to you and me, or you don't? I send them to you now when I get them. I forward them to you. You've gotten all the ones I get.
Okay.
So I forward them. So you want to be on the original sending list.
I want the outside individual, the applicant, to know that I would be participating, because a lot of crossings have taken place without anyone notifying.
But they do know that.
Yeah.
Because on the second page it says they need to call the surveyor, and they could do the day before and the day after inspection.
That's a very rare event, but
yes.
Yeah.
Well, and we need to do a better job of this to making sure that these people are doing these correctly and what they're doing. So
Right.
I would suggest for you to go into his office and get
Okay.
those, and you start going through them one by one, and you contact these people and see if they're done. I don't know if there's a fine if they didn't contact when they did it, or if they're not right, because if they're not right, we got to make sure that they're right, that they get changed.
I think I'll need to sit down with and find out exactly what process we should follow. Notification of the board is something that doesn't have to wait till the next meeting. As soon as I notice something that's not quite right, I can notify the board at that moment, and the board can address it in some manner. But we'll have to work out the details. I just want to want to kind of have the applicants understand that, yeah, there's a process, so that I don't just pop up out of the woodwork and surprise them. They may or may not be reading the back of the application.
Right, so it's on the application, but when John South, when you receive an application, is there any communication back to the applicant? Or is like, we've received your application?
Yeah, unless there's something wrong with it, if something needs to be changed, I just usually will bring it up at the meeting, and then I contact them after we've approved it.
Maybe that's something I could do as part of the start of the process, is when I get the application from John South, I can send an initial email notifying them that the back of the application requires.
And they've got your contact information on
yes.
your.
Well, then
That's what I was looking for, just making sure they had a direct.
So it's not a total surprise.
Well, and there's one other thing I could do. I mean, now I have my email address on the application, so it comes, so they see mine on there. I can change it to John's.
That would be great.
Email. That way,
Or better, put both.
or both, yeah. That way they know where it'll be there right in the application, where to send the emails.
Because it's not happening, and some of the applicants probably would follow the procedure, but they may be busy and don't bother reading the whole back of the application. All they hear is, yes, you're approved, and they proceed with the tasks that they find important, and the notification may not be high priority on their list.
Well, and I still get ones that have Christie's email on them, so they're using the old applications. They've probably got it saved in their computers, and like NIPSCO, Surf. Sometimes I get Christie ones, so I don't. So we may not even be looking at the
John
new
and I
ones.
can work it out, and
You get that figured out so that, and then, like I said, you really need to be going out and checking those
Yes.
the day before and the day after. And
I've done one because I did get the notification from NIPSCO. They were putting a utility pole up, and I was there before they started their work. I was there after they concluded the
Well,
work.
you have access to his office to get that stuff out of his office, so.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Yeah, I showed you where the drawer is.
Yes.
You know where.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's pretty much it.
Nothing on joint boards. We got a meeting with reorganization on Thursday, so nothing to report on that. No claims. We got $22,735 available in the engineering fund, so that started over at the beginning of the year. Any public comment? No public comment. We'll
Wanted to clarify something too on that Moon Ditch one. Just the light debris and tree removal. We weren't going to try and dig that part from 300 to the bowl. Just
No, just it was just going to be the tree removal.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back. So were there any other ones that you thought, because you guys said, what was it, the bull and the moon, that you were doing something where you were removing some trees and some barrels and stuff?
Yes, yeah.
So was there any other one that we know how many funds we got, that we only need to go so many feet? Is there any more that we want to bid that way? So to bring you guys up to speed, what ditch is that?
That's the moon.
No, the one that we're doing that on, the footage.
McKellips. The McKellips.
The McKellips.
Go as far as the money.
It goes as far as the money that's there. And we left some money in the account, so next year then, there should be enough money to come back and respray what we did so we can stay ahead of it. So that's kind of what our idea was on that, to try, so we can get the best bang for our buck. Because if somebody's gonna come and bid that, they might bid the whole thing and say, I can do this for $20,000. Well, if there's not that much money in there, then they're gonna say, well, wait a minute, I bid it for the whole job, and now you're only giving me part of it. So that's why we kind of did that way. So if there's any other ones, John, that you think, or you guys know of, that we can do it, so we got this much money, we're only going this far.
We can do that with the moon. I mean, it's got similar amount of money that McKellips has, so we could do that with the stretch we saw.
And I'd say keep it. I don't know how far you can go. I don't know how much money's in that account, but you go $1,500, $2,000 less than what you have, so that the next year then we put that on the spray program, so it gets sprayed then.
Okay.
For get the preventive going.
Because I think you're right about that one. Because if you keep going farther to the west as you get closer to the bowl, there's a lot of trees. I mean, they would burn through that money pretty quick if they did every single
They got
tree.
good access there too. There's a little path right next to that ditch. Good access there.
So I guess we'll leave that up to your discrepancy when you're doing those, and let's try to get all those bids back in before the next meeting then.
Okay.
Anything else? Next meeting be February 10th, 2026 at 8:30 in this room. Meeting adjourned.